The direction the country is going is a really ugly direction, and it's got to be stopped. One of the ways to stop that, I think, is gratitude. Now, I know that this is a word that has gone out of style, gratitude. Why should we be grateful? Clearly, things are so bad in America, except things are not bad in America right now. Not only are things not bad in America, things have not been bad in America for a few decades here, and all of the political motivation to try and drive us to anger and panic is completely overstated. And the solution to that is to be kind of grateful for the country in which you live. It's hard to be angry at somebody when you're also being grateful. And we should be grateful. One of the great lies that's been perpetrated by both sides of the political aisle for political purposes over the last several years has been this lie that nothing in the United States has gotten better since 1979. Very often, folks, particularly on the left these days, like to suggest that wage stagnation has taken place since 1979 and that the American people are worse off for it. That globalization, liberalization, liberalizing trade rules, lower taxes, that these sorts of things that have killed the American economy, that if we had just remained a high tariff nation with less free trade, then we would all be living better. But wage stagnation has led to tremendous suffering in the United States. There's only one problem. I'd like to ask you listening right now, do you think that your lifestyle would have been better in 1979? Really? These two things don't match up. Folks who say that 1979 was so awesome, that wage stagnation started then, and then wages have declined ever since, or they've at least remained static ever since for most people. Yes, but you are living a better lifestyle on those same wages. So what could explain this conundrum? Well, I think this is the most important article of the day. It's by a woman named Marianne L. Tupy at humanprogress.org. And here is what she says. She says, according to a 2015 report by the Economic Policy Institute, which is a left-wing think tank based in D.C., ever since 1979, the vast majority of American workers have seen their hourly wages stagnate or decline. This is despite real GDP growth of 149% and net productivity growth of 64% over this period. In short, the potential has existed for ample, broad-based wage growth over the last 3.5 decades, but these economic gains have largely bypassed the vast majority. Now, it is certainly true that average hourly earnings of production and non-supervisory employees in the private sector have barely changed between 1979 and 2015. In October 1979, average hourly earnings stood at $651 or $21.20 in 2015 dollars if you adjust for inflation. In 2015, average hourly earnings stood at about $21.18, which is slightly below the inflation-adjusted 1979 level. But we are forgetting three important factors, and this is the reason that you are living better today. It's the reason you have better stuff. It's the reason you have a bigger house. It's the reason why your lifestyle is significantly better than it was in 1979. One, expansion of non-wage benefits. People get all sorts of benefits that are not wage-related in today's economy. Second, a massive fall in the price of consumer goods. If you are making the same amount of money that you made last year, but all the goods are half as expensive, you can buy more of the goods. I mean, this seems pretty intuitive. If you can buy more stuff, why do you care what the number is on your wage? What matters is whether you can trade that wage for more things. And there's also been a rise in the price of services like education and healthcare. Those three factors combine to suggest that the problems in our economy have to do with government regulation, not deregulation. Education and healthcare are heavily regulated. And to suggest that trade has been quite good for an enormous number of Americans, even if it feels like it has not been. So here's what this article suggests at Human Progress, and this is right. In recent decades, non-wage benefits expanded. Today, they include relocation assistance, medical and prescription coverage, vision and dental coverage, health and dependent care flexible spending accounts, retirement benefit plans, group term life and long-term insurance plans, legal and adoption assistance plans, child care and transportation benefits, vacations, sick paid time off. It's not easy, writes this author, Marianne Tupy. It's not easy to put an exact figure on the value of those non-wage benefits, but they could amount to as much as 30 or even 40% of the worker's earnings. So while hourly wage benefits may have stagnated, benefits certainly have not. The lion's share of non-wage benefits, as Cato's Peter Van Dorn wrote in 2011, is consumed by the dramatic increase in health insurance costs. He says the fixed costs of health insurance are a much larger percentage of the total compensation of lower earnings workers, meaning that you did get a raise, it just came out in your health insurance. Also, many, perhaps most, big-ticket items used by a typical American family on a daily basis have decreased in price. At Human Progress, they looked at the prices of common household items as advertised in the 1979 Sears catalog and prices of those common household items sold by Walmart in 2015. And remember, those products in 2015 are a hell of a lot better than the products in 1979. A washing machine made in 2015 is a better quality washing machine than a washing machine made in 1979. A car made today is a better car than a car made in 1979. All the products you're getting are better, and you're getting them for cheaper. Here's what they did. They divided the 1979 nominal prices by 1979 average nominal hourly wages and 2015 nominal prices by 2015 average nominal hourly wages. And they calculated the time cost of household items in each year. That's the number of hours it would take to buy a washing machine. So, for example, the time cost of a 13 cubic foot refrigerator fell by 52% in terms of the hours of work required at the average hourly nominal wage. So if you could buy 2 refrigerators for the price of one, that makes you richer, regardless of what your top line income is. So it's pretty clear. It is pretty clear that when it comes to products that we can buy, we are much better off than we were in the 1970s. So where are we short? We're short in education, healthcare, and housing because the cost of those things has risen at a faster pace than total compensation. However, it is true that today's houses are larger and healthcare is better and education is more high-tech. It is also true that the reason that houses have risen in price is because of tremendous regulation on the part of Democratic administrations for the most part in major cities. The reason that you see housing shortages in Los Angeles, which is the most sprawling city in the country, I mean, it's where I live, is because of heavy regulation and zoning. So what is the standard of living? Well, it's certainly better than it was in 1979. For the vast majority of people in the American public, the average apartment is bigger. The average stuff you have in your apartment is bigger. The average house is better. The average stuff that you have in that house is better. All of that should suggest that maybe we should be kind of grateful for the country in which we live and stop trying to tear it down and stop trying to tear each other apart in the name of some utopian vision.